India might be playing a 3-match T20I series against Afghanistan right now, series that incidentally they've already won 2-0. But for many, that isn't the series that most of them are going to be focused on or looking forward to. And that's despite the fact that this is, in essence, a T20 World Cup here. No, the main thing that a lot of Indian fans are looking forward to is the 5-match test series that will be taking place against England in, well, actually in just a few days time. It's not that far away. January 24th is when that first game will be starting. And despite that, there is of course a lot of talk about what exactly you could expect from an Indian test series. I mean, there was plenty of debate, you remember, about the pitches during the Border Gavaskar Trophy series that took place last year. So there is a lot of talk about what you could expect from pitches, what kind of pitches you should prepare, yet everyone knows what exactly you can expect. England are coming to India with 4 spinners in the squad. India themselves have picked 4 spinners for the first 2 test matches, so you know you're going to get turning conditions where you would need a bare minimum of 3 spinners. However, former England captain, Nasser Hussain has put out a rather interesting suggestion about the kind of pitches that India should ideally be looking to prepare, whilst also talking about the fact that within Indian circles, he gets the feeling that there is a little bit of talk or a little bit of disdain for baseball, with many wanting to see it put down. We'll discuss all of that in just a bit, but first let's talk about the main thing that is worth addressing, the kind of pitches he said India should be preparing. He said that India, or rather he said, I think what India should do is ask for good pitches that spin a bit, because I think their spinners and batters will then outbat and outspin ours. And that's a pretty fair suggestion. He said, look, take pitches that spin, don't ask for rank turners. He's saying, because if you take pitches that just spin enough and that get you enough turn to ensure that you have that home familiarity, then India's batters are used to that, and more so than that, India's bowlers are also used to playing in such conditions. So if they have pitches which turn a bit but also are good for batting, then both their spinners and their batters will be happy and should in truth be able to outbat and outspin their batters and spinners respectively. Now that's a fairly good point, in the sense that he said don't go the extreme end, but if you make pitches that spin just enough, then India's spinners are happy and then India's batters could be able to come to the party as well. However, that isn't the only reason why he's advised against rank turners on this particular tour. The main point which he also then concedes thereafter, and one that I think is definitely interesting, is the fact that potentially if you make a pitch that's essentially a lottery, it might very well favor England's approach as well. This is what he said. He said that if they ask for pitches that spin a lot, then it becomes a bit of a lottery and it brings England spinners into the game. The way baseball is, they won't die wondering. Now this part, I think both parts are worth noting, because again a lot of people will scoff and say, England spinners aren't really that good, so why should you worry about bringing England spinners into the game? Well, to that I do take you back to that indoor test which took place last year against Australia, wherein the main person that troubled you, yes, Nathan Lyon troubled you consistently through the series, but in Indore, one of the main protagonists of that defeat was Matthew Kuhneman, a relatively unknown left-arm spinner, and England do have exactly that kind of spinner in their squad as well. So would you want to be giving similar conditions to an unknown spinner and who bowls a variety of spin that most Indian batters struggle against anyway? Possibly not. And as he says, if it becomes a bit of a lottery, then England's style of play, baseball, which is officially known as, which Baz himself hates, but it's known as that, is that baseball in itself, it's all about taking risks. So that sort of an approach does favor a lottery pitch. I mean, sure, you could potentially end up going out all guns blazing and then lose by 10 wickets, but you could also end up eking out a close win, because again you're going for that approach because you know the pitches are such that you can't really look to play attritional defensive cricket. Attritional defensive cricket works for pitches which will either A, ease out, or B, stay consistent. These sort of pitches will neither ease out nor will they stay consistent, because you could have square turn, you could have low bounce, so it's not going to stay consistent. You may as well go for your shots and hope for the best. That basically is in many ways baseball in a nutshell. So he says, if you make a lottery pitch, be prepared that England will very much be in the game as well. It's an interesting point, one that I myself do tend to agree with, because again with baseball, it'll work in two kinds of conditions. A, either conditions that are very flat, or B, conditions that are extreme. So in extreme conditions, extreme in the sense that it'll be either extremely bouncy, extremely swingy, or extremely spinny. In those kind of conditions, you will see this sort of an approach pay off, because again, you have nothing to lose and you're going to play like that. So rather than look to defend, when you know that one of those balls has your name on it, if you go all guns blazing, it may very well be the better option. But this isn't the only major thing he talked about. He also talked about a perception within certain sections of the Indian fandom, cricket fandom, and the cricket world at large in India, that he believes doesn't want to see baseball succeed. And he quoted his time that he spent in India for the ICC World Cup as case in point of that. He said that it is very much, let's say, human nature that you will want to see that particular thing put down. So England, or wanting England to fail in baseball with this baseball style, isn't so much necessarily, as Nasser puts it, or what I think he's putting it as Indian fans being snooty, and more down to the fact that you want to see, or you want to see your team be able to beat a team that has been able to play this effectively with a relatively new style. Of course, for me, I don't know whether or not that's actually the case. This is just Nasser's opinion, but it's an interesting one. All I know for sure is that I'm definitely very excited to see how it is India and England face off. Definitely a clash of styles. It's definitely going to be fun to watch. It'll be fun in the sense that you don't know. Sometimes you might see England collapse. Sometimes you might see them egg out a result. How is it that it's going to work on spinning tracks? That's something we don't really know, because we've never really seen them play that kind of a style on spinning tracks. Will it work? Won't it work? How badly will they fail? Is there a chance of success? These are questions we'll only know. But as according to Nasser, and I think I do concur with him, maybe going the right turn away might not be the best. But again, we don't really know until we see a ball bowled in this particular matches, which is why I'm very excited for this test matches. But what do you guys think? Do you agree with Nasser Hussain? Disagree? Do you think this is a style that could be successful in India? Baseball, that is. Well, you can let us know that in the comments, and don't forget to like this video, share it with your friends, subscribe to the channel, tap that bell icon. Also follow us on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. Don't forget to download the SportsTak app, and if you're already on the channel, go ahead, check out some other videos we've done through the day as well. For now though, from my side, it's goodbye.